There's a land beyond the river that we call the sweet forever, and we only reach that shore by faith's decree. One by one we'll gain the portals, there to dwell with the immortals. When they ring those
Last week we spoke about God's love for his people, and we talked about how we can witness that love every time we look at the sun or the moon, every time we feel a gust of wind upon our face. It reminds us of the covenant that God made. He said, as long as you see these things and feel these things, these marvelous works of nature, he said they all stand as a witness that this covenant I gave you. I am concerned about white people. Obviously, this is just paraphrasing what people say. I'm concerned about white people, and I think that we need to work to wake white people up. But we can't get so wrapped up in the issues of race that we forget about God. We have to remember that God has to always come first. I've heard people say that. I've heard identity ministers say that. You're too involved in the issues of race. God has to, how we look and the kind of image we project. We are still in a lot of trouble. Because we are still sinful and wicked. We still have jealousies. We still have anger. And we still have unforgiveness. We gossip about others. We pick out our favorites and ignore the others. We become jealous of our friends. We don't want anybody else to have our friends. Our friends are our friends. We don't want to share them with others. Pay back what you owe me. Especially with someone we don't want. His fellow servant fell to his knees and begged, be patient with me and I'll pay you back everything. But he refused. Instead, he went off and had the man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. When the other servants saw what had happened, they were greatly distressed and went and told their master everything that had happened. Then the master called the servant in and said, you wicked servant, I canceled all that debt. This commandment of forgiven was, remember, these were servants of the king. It was servants of the king that he told command. It was not the enemies of the king. It was not the enemies of the king. It was the servants of the king. If you're going to serve me, the king says, then you work and get along and forgive each other. And he's telling us the same thing. We're commanded to keep peace in our local assembly and among the church at large. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 6:16, do not sow discord among the brothers. Love for us through the scriptures. That is not a suggestion. We have this wonderful covenant, the sun, the moon, and stars. They stand as a witness to the faithfulness of God. And then we have our redemption purchased by the blood of Jesus Christ, our kinsman redeemer. That's all Jesus Christ saying, I love you. And we reply, I love you too. And we do this by demonstrating that our love for our people, our devotion to our people. We do it by our willingness to construct and shape our lives to be effective in reaching out to touch the hearts of our brothers and sisters. And then the hard one, it gets right to our very nature, where we need to allow Jesus Christ to